All right, Frank. It looks like we're about to be called out on. All right? You got to be prepared for this, all right? Has Francine, or Francis, I keep forgetting her name, has she got some icks for you already? Has she got something that's just drive her insane? Have you been doing some shit that's been driving her insane? I know you have. I know you. Because I do some crazy shit too, all right? So we're going to find out. Our buddy Joe Santagato is going to help us share what women's biggest inks about men are. Like, what are our problems? What are the problems that we cause, all right? Because I know we cause problems, all right? I understand that. I accepted that. But let's find out what they are so we can kind of fix that, you know what I'm saying? You with me on that? All right. I'm Ronak. This is Frank. Women share the biggest icks about men. Let's do this. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over one of the controversial topics on the internet these days, icks. An ick is basically a turnoff, okay? You know, you see a guy, you really like him, and then he's chasing a ping pong ball, and you're like, you know what, fuck this guy. So it's shit like that.
Hey, what is wrong with a ping pong ball, all right? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? All right? It's cool, all right? I like the ping pong ball.
The reason why I say it's controversial because a lot of dudes get super offended about these things, but I, for one, think they're hilarious. So we asked a bunch of women to send in their biggest icks, and we're going to react to them. We'll see
All right, let's do
if
this.
they make sense or if it's bullshit. Let's find out what icks women. When men call their junk a cock, that's an interesting one because I feel like cock...
I get it, but it sounds funny. It sounds funny. Come on. Cock. Come on. You gotta laugh at that. You kind of gotta laugh at that. I mean, I get it, but it's funny. It just sounds funny. Is it funny, Frank? No? It's just me? Alright, I'll take it.
Cock is the only appropriate... Actually, dick could work, but, like, you're not going to call it a penis in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not like, oh, you like this penis?
That'd be funny, though, too.
Like, in the bedroom, like, when you're dirty talking or whatever, it's a cock. Or a dick. That's it. You can't be literally anything else. You can't be... unless you're British, then they call it, like, a prick or something. Like, you're like, this prick, and you're like, the fuck? I've cocked it, for sure. I've definitely said cock a few times. I know some people who don't like that word, but, like, in a sexual... situation, I think it's okay to cock it up. You know what I mean? You can't penis in that situation for sure. That's out. When a guy is unusually close with his mom. All right, unusually close.
What defines unusually? Okay? Because listen, I'm a mama's boy. I love my mom to death, all right? I try to hang out with her when I can, all right? You know, I have a very close relationship with her, so you better be specific on what unusual means, all right? You got to tell me what that means, because that is a loaded thing. That can be anything, all right? Unusual can be anything. So you got to tell me what that is. Tell me what that is, all right?
Being the word. I mean, there would probably be some Italian guys that would read this and be like, what the fuck am I? My mom is the most important woman in the fucking world. And they live in her basement and they have dinner with her every Sunday and they call her every morning. That is weird. Okay, that I will say is strange. I consider myself close with my mom. I don't talk to her every day. I try to see her, you know, once every 2 weeks or something like that. But unusually close is a little crazy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you watch like one of those wedding shows and the mom is like there picking out his outfits and shit and you're like, okay, why is your mom doing your...
Okay, so what they're saying is that it's an unhealthy relationship. Like mom's a bit too controlling. Like they control too much of what he does and everything. Like an over... Okay, that makes more sense, all right? You got to be specific with that because, you know, we respect our moms to the point because they took care of us, you know, helped us and everything, raised us and everything. So we put her on the highest regard of anything. You know what I mean? So when they say unusual, that's very loaded. But but gotta get it. If she's over controlling him, especially as an adult, that would make more sense. Okay, I got it. Got it. I got it.
Fucking 5. When he laughs at a TV show, it's an ick when he has a good time watching television. I hate that. That's bullshit.
Yep. Am I supposed to be just stoic? That's more insane. Listen, Frank, that's more insane, okay? If he's seeing a comedy show and he's just the entire time, that's a red flag. That's the red flag. That guy's a psycho, okay? I'll tell you this right now. He is a psycho, okay? If he's laughing, having a good time, you're good. You're chill, all right? Camera, come back to me. Thank you. Like, it's fine, all right? You just enjoy it. Like, but if he's like this, that's when he's okay. Okay, but like that's got to be a jealous thing. Like, enjoy the show with me. Like, I'm gonna laugh, you laugh with me. Come on. Like, we're supposed to be having fun. What are we doing here? Frank, help me out, man. You're the doctor. Help me out. What am I supposed to do? You know what? You don't have answers. I don't even know why are you here, man. Like, what are you doing? Come on, man. Get together, dude. I got you in a nice drip for a reason. Come on.
Okay, we're watching TV for entertainment. I'm supposed to be enjoying myself. It's an ick to see me smile, to see me happy. Fuck you. Now, if he was unusually enjoying a TV show and he would laugh and like kick his feet like this, then you're like, okay, what are you doing, dude? That's a little different. But just laughing at a TV show, come on. Let's laugh a little in this world. When guys lock in while playing a sport, like relax. I think if you quietly lock in while you're playing a sport, that's totally fine. But if you have to audibly, like, sort of lock in, where you're like, yo, it's fucking go time. That I can get where you're like, all right, chill out. Yo, now I'm gonna play for real. You know, some shit like that. It's like, chill, bro. Grown men who bathe. Fuck you.
So you want me to smell like shit every single day? Is that what you're saying? You want me to smell like a dog's asshole around you? Is that what they say, Frank? Is that what they're telling me? All right. You know what I'm gonna do? Right after this, I'm gonna take a shower. Right after I record these videos, I'm taking a long ass shower. All right. I'm gonna enjoy it. Okay. You cannot tell me not to bathe. All right. I'm not gonna smell like a dog's asshole around you. Okay. I'm just saying.
Dude, I love taking a tub. I will say the sight of seeing a man bathe is probably not great. You know, like he's just sitting there.
Oh, let's talk about taking a bath. I mean, it's still like, come on, let the man have a bath. All right, it's fine. I mean, if you don't have to, you don't need to watch him take a bath. Like, if he says, "Hey, I'm taking a bath," it's like, all right, I'm gonna be in the other room. All right, like, come on. You're not watching him bathe. It's like you're watching him bathe. You're like, ugh. No, I mean, I get it. No one wants to see a dude bathe. No one wants to see that. But, like, come on.
A little bubble bath and maybe a little glass of wine or something, you're like, all right, you're an old lady, dude. I think it's okay for grown men to bathe as long as no one sees you. Like, as long as you lock the door, it's totally fine. But while you're in there, pamper yourself. Shut the lights, light 2 candles, get a fucking iPad and watch your favorite TV show and laugh and kick your feet and make little bubbles, you know what I mean? I'm talking from fucking experience, by the way. I've done that more than thrice. When he lies about something just to look cool, yeah, that drives me insane.
Yeah.
And like, you know when people are doing it too, and they're just like, oh, and they just try to make it sound so much cooler than it actually is.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an ick. I think that's like a personality
That's just an
People
asshole.
who lie and make up stories suck. Like, that's totally different. Using a blanket and his feet stick out. First of all, who does that? Who likes to have their feet out? I need my shit tucked in. You know what I mean? I need to be all wrapped in like a fucking cocoon in a little blanket like this. And I hate having a small blanket where I have to choose between my neck being tucked in or my feet being out. It's always going to be cover the feet. But like when the blanket just comes up to here, I'm like, yo, fuck this blanket. Plugging his ears when something is too loud. Oh, no, stop! Yeah, that's horrible. Like, that's like 4-year-olds do that, dude. I don't know. That's the same thing as like jumping into a pool and holding your nose. And like, yo, that drives me nuts. And for me, to see a guy, like if I saw a guy, who's like a really cool dude? I don't even know. Leonardo DiCaprio or something, right? And he's on his yacht and there's 400 models there and they're all 10s and he just got fresh off of fucking 9 of them at once. And then he jumps off his yacht into the Mediterranean and he goes, I'm like, yo, fuck that guy. That guy is a bitch, dude. If you're going to hold your nose while jumping into water, I don't respect you. And this is the same as that. If it's too loud and you're like, oh, like, come on, bro. Give me a break. When he's in a crosswalk and does that little jog thing to get across faster, that is an ick, and no one looks cool doing that, but it is necessary. It's nice.
Listen, I do that sometimes, all right? Because when you're living in a crazy busy street where they don't give a fuck if they run you over, I'm doing that jog, all right? I'm protecting more of my life. I'd rather look like a bitch than lose my life, all right? I'm just saying that. I'm just putting that out there, all right? Frank! Help me out, man. Do you want to die? Walk crossing the crosswalk? Do you want that to happen to you? Of course you don't, all right? So that's what I'm saying. I will take that jog. I will take that jog. Okay? I'm just saying.
Nice to do for the driver, because even if you're not going quicker than your walking speed, I just want to know that you're going to make this effort. You know what I mean? It makes me feel a little better of like, okay, there's some urgency here. But just to like see me waiting and then you just like taking your time and walking, I may hit you with my car. Men who test ice cream with a tiny spoon. That's a really good one. Can I try the mint chocolate chip? Just make a decision and hate it on the way home, dude. First of all, it's ice cream. It's gonna be good. Oh, can I? I hate that too. That would be an ick for me, for women. Stop trying.
Especially if you're waiting in line too.
I hate it. I don't test shit, by the way. I never test anything. Like even at like a brewery or something, like, oh, you want to try it? I'm like, I'm just going to make a decision, and if it sucks, I'll choke it down. Like that's pretty much it. But yeah, I can see that. Like you're like, oh, I'm with this like manly man. He's like, let me get this little. Oh my God. Taste a little bit of rocky road. It's like, chill the fuck out, my guy. When a man puts on chapstick, I put on chapstick 40 times a day, probably. I put on chapstick all the time.
Listen, I actually got to put some on because my lips are dry, but I'm just saying, chapstick is essential. Because you don't want to kiss dry lips. You want to kiss dry lips? Like, come on. Just think about it. Do you want to kiss dry lips? I don't think so. I don't think you do. I don't think you do. You want to see his lips chapped up and bleeding? I don't think so. I don't think you do. So let us have the chapstick. It's fine.
Time. I try to keep my shit luscious, and if that's an ick, we would not work out, trust me, because I got chapsticks. They're all over the place too. They're in my nightstand, they're on like the kitchen counter, there's one probably in my couch cushion, definitely in my car, definitely 4 from here probably, and there's one in the dryer by accident. I ruined multiple clothes leaving chapstick in my pants, but it's a big part of my life, so fuck you. Men's balls, I just think they're extremely gross. How can balls be an ick? I don't think they're cool. Like balls are a little weird. They're like rib.
I mean, it's part of us, man. We're not dogs, you know. Like we're not gonna go get it chopped off. At least I'm not going to. Like, come on, just deal with the balls, all right? Just deal with it. It's just us. It's who we are. It's how we were created. Like you can't be mad at us for having balls. Like just what the fuck.
Have you ever stared at your balls and they're just moving all the time?
Wait, what? Your balls are just moving like just willy-nilly?
Yeah, like slowly.
My balls will move if I move them, but they're not just moving around.
Next time you're taking a pee, stop and just stare at your balls for a little while.
You may have animals living in your ball sack, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Balls are very weird. I don't know about it being an ick, though. When he runs to pick up candy from a piñata, what the fuck? When is a grown man running at a piñata to pick up candy? Is he robbing it from the 3-year-olds that are supposed to have the candy? That to me would be a big ick. If he's at a little birthday party and he's like, give me the fucking Skittles. While we're on the piñata thing, I'm thinking about it like if a dude is blindfolded and swinging at a piñata and missing, I'd be like, ugh, this guy sucks, dude. He can't even hit the piñata. Like, it would drive me crazy. When men swim with goggles, can totally see that. Because there's no sexy way to come out of the water with those goggles on and it makes you look like you have frog eyes and you're like, oh, you should see what's down there. You're like, okay. You're like a little nerdy 5-year-old, dude. Go back underwater and hold your breath until you die. All right?
All right, before we move forward with this video, we do have some sponsors, and the first one is Rocket Money. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app. PrizePicks.com. Download the app and use the code Santagato for that first deposit match. You're welcome.
When he refuses to wear a deodorant, hello, here I am.
Yeah.
I wear deodorant maybe like once a quarter when I really smell like shit, but otherwise, I don't wear deodorant. It's not that I refuse, it's just an unnecessary part of my life. I got nothing here, you know? It just smells like nothing. And I don't need to put anything on my pits, all right? When he has hairy toes and wears flip-flops in public, I mean, the flip-flops in public alone would kind of drive me insane, to be honest with you. I actually went to Miami recently, and I was staying at a hotel, and I forgot to pack my slides. So I called the front desk and was like, do you have any slippers I could use to go to the beach? And they're like, yeah. And they brought thong flip-flops. I'm like, I'm wearing my sneakers. So I wore my sneakers to the beach because I was like, this is so much worse to be out there like, oh, hey, fellas, and then you're just like wearing the fucking thong flip-flops that are super painful, by the way. When he has a Rolex, why is that an
What the fuck? What is wrong? Okay, I can get. I'm I can get past the other two. Okay, the flip flop thing, and I forgot what the other one was. I think the goggles thing. That's fine. A Rolex, dude. That means he's doing well in life. All right, if he can afford a Rolex, he's doing pretty well in life. All right, you're just mad because you don't have one. All right, I'm just saying.
He has a nice watch. Is this a big deal that he has a nice watch? Big whoop. Why is that an ick? I don't understand. Someone explain. My biggest ick about men is the buildup right before they sneeze. Their face gets so ugly. I mean, that's anybody. You know, who's sneezing and it's like, oh, that was so adorable. Like, anyone sneezes, it's like the whole world was coming out of your fucking face. But I guess the buildup to a sneeze is like, you really got to keep sucking in all this air or whatever. I get it, but I don't tend to look at people when they sneeze. I look away.
I know, right?
I don't want them to sneeze at
the
me.
way you looking.
Reposting motivational quotes on his IG stories. My God, this is horrible. People who try to be motivational on social media that just aren't motivational, I think it's icking all of us, honestly. Like, if you're someone who got their leg blown off and now you like ran in the Olympics, these people are motivational. They should be posting these things, and I am motivated. But if you're just a regular dude and you're just reposting fake Tom Hardy quotes, being alone is the best way to be when you're on the grind, it's like, who is this for? You're not motivating anybody, dude. You work in an office. Who cares? Being rude to bartenders and wait staff. I mean, this is just fucked up. It's not really an ick. It's just like, what are you doing?
It's just,
I don't like that at all. I will say a bigger ick is people who talk loudly in restaurants. I fucking hate that, to be honest with you. Yeah, and Greg is rolling his eyes over there because at the holiday party, Frankie and Greg are yelling at each other from opposite sides. It's talking about clapping cheeks. And then I'm like, guys, chill. And they're like, all right, relax, Dad. And I'm like, you guys are screaming in a public place where people are having dinner about clapping cheeks. Maybe don't do that. But being rude to the bartender and waitstaff, completely unacceptable. When he wears cross-body bags, okay, I've done this, but only in Europe. It's okay to do that in Europe. A lot of dudes in the UK also, they keep their knives in there. Right? Cross-body bag, I feel like it comes in and out of style. I don't know if it's like still a thing now, but I did have one. I did wear one when I was in Portugal, and everything was fine. I thought it added to the outfit, but what do I know? When he doesn't have basic vehicle knowledge, like how to change a tire or to do an oil change. I know how to change a tire, I just don't physically know, if that makes any sense. I know you gotta like take...
I mean, there's also people who could do that. You know what I mean? You go to a mechanic, or you go to, you know, I go to Jiffy Lube to get my oil change because it's simple, it's easy, you know. Or I call my buddy who actually, that was his job to do it. Like, we don't have to know everything about a car. I mean, it'd be nice to have some knowledge, but it's like, just to go up and do it. Because what would happen if I did something and something broke? You know what I mean? Like, come on, you know. I'd rather just have a professional do it. You know what I mean?
The things off and then put the, like, that's not the hard part. The only part that I don't know is where to jack the vehicle, because that changes to my knowledge. How to do an oil change? I mean, when am I going to be in a bind where I'm like, I'm going to make an oil change? Also, an oil change? Isn't an oil change just filling up the oil? Like, you're not really changing the oil, right? I thought you were just going over and opening up the thing and pouring oil in. If that's wrong, then I have no fucking idea. But this is why we have mechanics. I'm not a mechanic. I bring the shit to the mechanic. You're not going to get mad at a barista for not knowing how to make pizza. That's the same shit. When the train starts moving and he stumbles, huge ick. Hate that so much. And also, being from New York and growing up on the subway, basically, I take a lot of pride in not stumbling. And then when I'm on the train, I see someone else stumbling, I'm like, fucking out-of-towners, bro. You just judge them. Sometimes the train has gotten me. Like the 6 train sometimes, just like, I don't know who's driving that thing, but they hit the brakes pretty fucking hard sometimes, and I've stumbled into old ladies. I'm not going to lie to you. But I try to keep it to one stumble every 2 years.
One stumble every 2 years,
bro.
bro.
Rate, in my opinion. But if you're with a guy and like you're on your way to your date and your guys are on the train or something and he's just like, oh, you're like, okay, guy, like, get your feet under you. Be a man. When men punch something when they get mad or don't get their way, yeah, it's an ick, or it's a, you know, red flag, and he's emotionally immature, and that's scary because, you know, you could be the next thing. You know, if I see a guy get into a fight with his girlfriend and then punch the wall, I go, one day he could be pushed too far and make a big mistake. And that would be scary. So that is a huge red flag. I wouldn't call it an ick, I would call it scary. When men wear bike helmets, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that bike helmets are super safe, and I think that everyone should wear them, and I think they save lives. I'm just not gonna do it. Like, I'm just not gonna wear a helmet for some reason. If you're wearing it on the bike, I guess it's okay. But once you step off the bike and you're just a man walking around with a helmet on, I'm like, all right, this is gross. No one's gonna ever have sex with you now. That's kind of how I feel. But that's just me. Men blowing on their food when it's too hot. What else am I supposed to do to it?
I know, right? Like, am I supposed to just burn? Like, Just, I'm gonna just eat and burn my mouth. All right. Like the fuck, man. I don't want to lose my taste buds. I like to taste the food. Okay. That's why I got the food, so I can taste it. Okay. I don't want it to just fuck up my mouth. All right.
How else can you eat soup is my question. You're not just gonna shove it in your mouth and burn your mouth. I mean, I guess you could, but I'm not doing that. I got a sensitive tongue. I burn my mouth on coffee literally every single day. So I'm gonna blow on it a little bit. You know what would give people an ick? Watching me drink the first sip of coffee, because it takes me 30 tries. Because I get really close and I'm like, nope, not ready. It's too hot right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, I can't. Sniffing his fingers after scratching his balls. Yeah, you're not supposed to get caught doing stuff like that. Not something that's in my arsenal, not something that I'm interested in doing, to be honest. This is the same thing, like people like picking their nose and eating it sort of thing. I never understood that. If you are one of those people that picks their nose and eats it, you do that in your room, okay, by yourself. You don't do it like in class or like on the bus where people can film you and shit. You don't do that. So people who are scratching their balls and sniffing it, you do that in the privacy of your own closet, all right, at 3 a.m. You don't do that where people can see you and then complain about it on the internet. Be a man. When he starts a conga line at a wedding. Isn't it better to start the conga line than to join in on one? Because at least if you start it and people join in, it's like, oh, he's a leader in a way. You know what I mean? I think that would mask it a little bit. But if there's already like 8 people on this conga line, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be number 9, then you're like, ugh. Like, why are you doing that? Be at the front or don't be in it at all. But I don't know. I haven't been on many conga lines in my life, to be honest with you. Maybe 4 ever. And most of them took place under the age of 8. So I don't know. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are the things that ick women. If you do 8 of these things and you're single, that's why. So you might want to make some change.
All right, then. Well, I agree a certain extent of those things, of those icks. I do agree with most of them, but some of them I'm like, listen, it is what it is. That's just who we are. All right. If you don't like it, guess we can't be friends. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join the Ronic Empire.